Hey guys, today we're gonna have a bit of a chatty update, homeschool update, life update, what's been going on over here. So if that sounds fun, grab a cup of coffee and hang out with me for just a little bit. So if you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you will have missed my big announcement several weeks ago now that we are expecting baby number 4. So that has definitely changed our homeschool and life lately, and we're going to chat a bit about that, a bit about what's going on with homeschool, and also I'm going to share some of the books that I'm reading about pregnancy and some of the supplements and things that I'm taking if you guys are interested. So stick around, we're going to talk homeschool, pregnancy, and everything in between. So hey, my name's Adrian and I'm a homeschool mom of 3 kiddos for now. They are 8, 7, and 3. And I love to talk about all things homeschool, family life, motherhood, books, vintage curriculum, all the things. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss anything new. I will also leave links down below to my Instagram and Facebook if you guys would like to see more of a day-to-day type of content. Anyway, I am expecting baby number 4 and we are so very excited. So I'm gonna sit here with my coffee and chat a bit about that. I am about 17 weeks now and coffee is just now tasting good again and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I love coffee. It is not just the taste but the comfort of it, and this baby does not like coffee and has tricked my body into thinking that it is absolutely disgusting, but it finally tastes good again, and I could have just cried when it started tasting good again. So I'm gonna sip on this while I chat with you guys. So pregnancy in and of itself doesn't necessarily change our homeschool or our routine, but I had a really rough first trimester, which is pretty new for me pregnancy-wise. I had a bit of nausea and fatigue with the other ones, typical, but this pregnancy definitely knocked me for a loop first trimester. I kept asking my doctor if I was deficient or what I could do to have some more energy. I felt like just a dead couch potato, to be quite honest. I just didn't have the energy to do the day-to-day things, let alone homeschool most days. So that definitely affected our homeschool. But as we are past the first trimester, I'm firmly in my second trimester and feeling so much better. I feel like a human again. I can drink coffee again. The brain fog, the fatigue, the nausea has really passed. So I have been able to reflect on those few months of feeling like a potato. So I wrote some notes down so I wouldn't forget the things that I wanted to say, but we didn't really do a lot of our core curriculum or a lot of our under the home subjects that we thoroughly enjoy. But on the good days, when I did have some energy, we would do some of the core subjects like our math and phonics. I would try to do read alouds at lunchtime or do Bible time if I had the energy. But to be honest, reading took a lot of energy, which just blows my mind because I love to read. And that was a really big struggle. But there were some positives to all the struggles that we had, and that was that my kids really stepped up. We have worked for years now on a lot of life skills, things like chores, working on doing their own laundry, helping clear and wipe the tables, unloading the dishwasher. We've been working on having a weekly breakfast helper, which is it's not my forte. I am one of those people that I don't quite enjoy having children in the kitchen. It makes me frazzled and I just don't do well with it. But I have found that if I have one child for a specific meal as my helper, that I do much better. So we have worked on that where each of my children have a day of the week they get to help me make breakfast. And we had worked on that for several months before I got pregnant, and that came in super handy because I was so nauseous some mornings that breakfast was just not happening. But my kids could make eggs, they could make oatmeal, they could fix sandwiches and toast and things like that, but we don't keep quick breakfast like instant oatmeal or sugary cereal or even non-sugary cereal. We really eat a hot, warm breakfast every every morning, because my kids would act like they're dying if they don't have a full breakfast every morning. So that was incredibly helpful. I would just sit in the kitchen with them and they would make scrambled eggs, or like I said, some oatmeal or something. And so they got to really practice those life skills that we've been working on, and they were incredibly sweet about it. It was not a moment where they had to do something they didn't want to. They felt very grown up and mature, and they got to be helpers, and it made them very proud of themselves. So that was a good thing that I get to look back and reflect on, that those skills that we worked on, they felt good about them, I felt good about them, and they were able to also contribute to the family in a time when mommy just could not do the normal things. So I really enjoyed that. Another thing that was a really big positive from all of the struggles was my children got along for the most part. Sibling relationships were good while I was not feeling good. They were able to recognize that things were a little different, and they were able to get along and be loving for the most part, which I don't know if all of your kids are this way, but there is some strong sibling rivalry. My older two are only 13 months apart, and they're both boys, and so it is a wild ride sometimes, and the wild ride has come back since I have been feeling better. But in those hard moments, they are able to get along, and so I have to remember those moments when I'm in the struggles. But that was another good thing. So really, our days looked a lot like unschooling. My oldest son would read books to my younger two without me even asking him to. He would sit in the rocking chair we have out in the playroom and read them books. He would read books to himself. They played some games. They played outside very well, and my kids thoroughly enjoy being outside. They make the craziest obstacle courses. They have every toy you could imagine outside, but their favorite things to play with are tires, ropes, scrap wood, and the sandbox, and just random things where they make the craziest fun concoctions. And so we did a lot of that while I was not feeling good. The fresh air also helped me a lot to not be so ill feeling. So we spent a lot of time outside. My oldest, I did still require him to read and do a Bible journal during his hour-long quiet time. We do an hour quiet time every day, and we definitely kept that in place. And so he did get some reading in during those struggles. And then together, during homeschool times or rainy days when I wasn't feeling good, we did a lot of watching Liberty Kids or things like Zaboomafoo or different science channels. My kids really liked Liberty Kids. On YouTube, there is an entire playlist of the American Revolution Liberty Kids episodes, and we just started at the top and flew through them. We would do that a lot during lunch, which is when I normally read history books or science books or poetry or just some fun read alouds, and I wasn't able to do that. So we did get some learning in, and it was a bit nostalgic because I grew up watching those things. What else? Oh, we did continue to go to our co-op during my first trimester. Luckily, it was only every other week, or twice a month, I should say, and I was able to do very well during those days. By the grace of God, I felt good on those days and was able to teach the class that I do there. I taught like a kindergarten, preschool type class this year. So that's how homeschool has been lately. We are just now getting back into every day doing our core subjects and fitting in some of those under the home subjects that we really like, as well as some of the books from the Libraries of Hope that we love. So that's how homeschool's been. Now, I thought that I would share some of the books that I've been reading since finding out that I'm pregnant, or books that I want to read. I have quite a stack, or a bit of a stack, I don't know. And then some of the supplements I've been taking. So if you're interested, then here they are. If not, then thank you for listening to my rambling, and I will get back to posting regular content. I do want to put up my curriculum picks for next year. But with all of my brain fog and us falling behind in school, I have had to reevaluate what I thought we were going to do, or where we were going to be at the end of the year, as well as factoring in having a new baby next year. So those videos are coming soon, but things have had to be reevaluated. So keep an eye out for those. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can see them. As well as I would like to share some more flip throughs of some of the free curriculums that I have. So again, keep an eye out for those. Okay, here is my stack of books that I have physically. The first one is a classic. This is Ina May, I don't know how to say that. Ina May's book, Guide to Childbirth by Ina May Gaskin. This is a classic. I am going to reread this. I read this with my last baby, and I'm going to reread this, but I haven't started this yet. I'm going to finish one or two other books before I get started in this, but I do want to go through and read a lot of the positive birth stories before the new baby comes. This was recommended from another channel, and I'm drawing a blank on the channel name, but I can link it down below as well. She talks some about her pregnancy too. This is Real Food for Pregnancy, The Science and Wisdom of Optimal Prenatal Nutrition. This book is great, but I'm nearly halfway through my pregnancy and I don't think I've even read a quarter of this book. So I don't know how helpful this book is going to be at this point, but it's very interesting. This is written from a dietitian, and it is very thorough, very evidence-based. All of the references are listed. The reference section is gigantic. There are recipes in here and just an explanation of what you should eat and why, what traditional nutritionists or dietitians will tell you about pregnancy and eating, and what she thinks about it. So it's good, but I don't know that I'm going to even finish this in time. The book that I'm reading right now, this is the Mom and Natural Week by Week Guide to Pregnancy and Childbirth. You can also follow her at Mom and Natural on Instagram, and she has some great information. She has a website, but this is just the week-to-week guide. I thought this was a fun thing to be going through, just a more natural mindset on the week by week, how big your baby is, what's going on with your body, different tests that are coming up, different suggestions. There's some recipes, there's some affirmations in here every week for you to have. This is just great. My copy is not in great condition. I did order this one off of Thrift Books, and it's the first book that's come like really beat up from Thrift Books, but it's still readable, it's still usable, so I still love it. Here is The Birth Partner, a complete guide to childbirth for dads, doulas, and all other labor companions. I have yet to start this one, but this will be next after I've finished the book that I'm reading now, which is a book I'm listening to on Audible, and it is Hypnobirthing. I have never learned anything about hypnobirthing. I guess the title always put me off, but it has nothing to do with hypnosis or anything funky. It's a lot of breathing techniques and just preparing mentally and emotionally before you go into labor, regardless of what kind of labor you want to have, whether that's medicated or natural or birth center, home, hospital, what have you. It's just preparing yourself, and so that has actually been really helpful, and I am enjoying listening to it on Audible. So I will link all of these down below. I will link the Audible version that I'm listening to as well, because I'm really enjoying that. And then I'm also I'm also reading a book on Kindle. It is called, I don't know what it's called, let me find it real quick. Okay, it is called Dissolving Illusions by Susan Humphries. I'm not going to go into any details on that, but I have lots of questions, and this is one of the books that I have decided to read to try and find some answers. So if you are curious what that is or know what it is, then I'm not even going to talk about it, but you can look it up and see what that is all about. And lastly, I'll show you some of my prenatals and what I have been taking. I really wanted something plant-based. I didn't want to go with the typical women's prenatals that are suggested from your OB or mainstream avenues, if you will. But I have really fallen in love with this company, Earthly, and so I will link this down below as well. They have a whole pregnancy regimen, if you will, and that's what I'm taking. They also have tons of things for babies and skincare and just women's health, first aid, so many things. They even have come out with some children's books that I definitely want. That is on my wish list. So this is what I'm taking. It is Earthly Wellness. This is Nourish Her Naturally. So I have this. This is just a little tincture that I'm taking. And then this is Immune Aid. This is just some natural vitamin C. So instead of taking a pill, this just comes from, it's powder, and I like to put it in a smoothie because the texture is funky if you try to just put it in water or juice. But it doesn't taste bad, the texture gets me. So I like to put it in smoothies, and it's just from food. Then there are these lotions as well. There is the vitamin D cream. Instead of taking a fish oil, I am using this lotion. It is like cod liver oil and some other things in here. So that's vitamin D cream, and this Good Night lotion, which is a magnesium lotion, and this one smells pretty good. So I have been putting these two on at bedtime and then taking the other two in the morning. So that's it. I hope to be getting back to a regular posting schedule on here, sharing more about our homeschool and resources and plans for next year. So stick around, don't give up on me yet. I'm coming back. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any other good pregnancy book recommendations, I'd love to hear them. Any good podcasts or birth stories, then let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.